very good one to have right now.
And he's going to level the Warden up right away. That'll make it into a 4/4 given the Gideon emblem, which makes it a nice target for this Crackling Doom. Stevens with a Jace. Mantis Rider going to come into the red zone. Looks like Mann's going to triple block one. I like a triple block here a lot.
Make sure that one removal spell does not blow up the whole operation.
Because, again, remember, those stoppers are 2/2s thanks to Gideon's emblem. And now we got a Surge of Righteousness. Yikes. That's a beating.
I mean, that's a huge deal here for Mann, as now the skies are clear. And he gains a little bit of life, too.
Mann untapping, no cards left in hand. So he is reaching for the mana very quickly here. Looks like he will give the beatdowns in the air just a little bit along with the Warden, though I think he's expecting the Warden to die. He'll level up. There's Crackling Doom. See you later. Two damage will come across. Does Mann have a follow-up? It appears that he does. And it's a Silk Wrap.
Really important follow-up, too.
Yeah. That takes care of Chase. It leaves Stevens with just a Knight ally on the battlefield. Gideon was the draw, however. There's an attack. Here's your trade. Time to rebuild. We'll see how well Mann can draw now. Again, a lot of big draws available here. Gideon, Den Protector, Nissa, the list goes on and on and on. The Thopter token will knock Gideon down a little bit. Mann just has to pass the turn back. Battlefield forwards will draw here for Stevens. He'll tick up Gideon. He's going to come across here for a pretty healthy amount. Pass the turn back over to Mann. Mann's at 2. Mann's all done here. Stevens' top deck's a little bit better there in the mid-game, and we get ready here for game number 3 between Todd Stevens and Steve Mann. Jeskai Black, Green White Megamorph, tied up a 1-1.
And a matchup I feel like we're going to be seeing quite a bit of over the course of this weekend.
You see Steve trying to get an eye on what the clock looks like. About 17 minutes. I agree with you. We'll see a lot of this.
They seem like two of the best position decks, two of the most popular decks from what we've seen thus far. Not surprising. Green White Megamorph looked very impressive last week, and Mantis Rider seems like a great way to try to solve that problem.
They'll shuffle up. Steve will be on the play. We'll talk about the Star City Games YouTube page. Over 80,000 subscribers where you can watch a whole bunch of awesome stuff at youtube.com/Star City Games.
A ton of archive content here. Videos from the Versus series, premium archives, open series archives, and some stuff exclusive to the YouTube page, like unboxings. Head over to youtube.com/Star City Games. Become a subscriber today and get notified when new content is uploaded to the site.
Game 3 here, as these players do shuffle up pretty quickly. For Steve Mann, 32 years old, from Tampa, Florida. He's got an invitational top 8. We saw that just about a month and a half ago in New Jersey, where he lost in the finals to Alex Bistecki. 10 Open Series top 8s with a win, 1 Pro Tour top 8, a Pro Tour gate crash, and a Grand Prix top 8 on the resume. He's a drummer, ran across country, and this is a new one, I didn't know this. GoldenEye 64 Prodigy. Challenge him to a duel.
I'd play some. What were your house rules? Everyone has different house
That's
rules.
The best part is that's true.
Everyone has different house rules.
Okay, actually, tell me your house rules first.
All right, house rules. This is known as Eugene Harvey rules.
Okay.
Just played a lot at his place. You had to play one-shot kills.
Okay, we did this for a time.
And you were allowed to be Odd Job, the small character, but you could only chop with him. You couldn't use a weapon.
Interesting.
And Odd Job's pretty close to balanced in this world. So those are the house rules.
Only one. Did you guys play with remote mines?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, were you allowed to throw and then blow them up in the air?
Yes.
Okay, because that was like real cheap. The best is when people figured out you could do that and then you didn't tell your friends how to do it. And so they're just chasing with a gun. You just throw a mine in their face and blow it up.
Yeah, there's some level of Mario Kart where you can like cheat by hopping over the rail and kind of lapping everyone.
Yeah.
And Eugene, of course, knew how to do this, and no one else did.
The house rules were pretty. When we played one-hit kills, they were generally the same. But there was a while there.
Did you have Odd Job was legal but nerfed?
No, we didn't. We didn't have the Odd Job. The Odd Job nerf.
Oh, slaps only.
Yeah.
Odd Job slaps only.
No, what was the super tall guy's name?
I forget.
He had metal teeth. I think it's Jaws, but I'm not.
Yeah,
positive.
Jaws sounds right. He was pretty bad. That was the other thing you could do if you're playing with people who were a lot worse than you. That's another way to balance is be Jaws.
Play Jaws.
Yeah.
For my money, like a top 3 video game of all time.
Oh, of course.
GoldenEye. Well, it's just a shame because like the young kids now, if you show them that, they're like, "What are all these boxes on the screen?"
Yeah.
And what's the golden gun?
Right.
But it's the best. It's like probably the 3rd best video game of all time.
Probably,
there are a few ahead of it for sentimental reasons for me.
Yeah, probably the same people who complain about Citizen Kane being black and white. I have nothing to do with these people. It's a classic.
A Jace activation here for Todd. That's how he got his game started. For Steve, he has a Warden of the First Tree that's level 1 along with the Death Mist Raptor. Here's a Soulfire Grandmaster. Ah, yes, I see now. Here come the house rules for everyone via Twitter. I love it. Everyone played GoldenEye differently.
It's the most house-ruled video game of all time, I think.
Oh, see, that's a good rule. No proximity mines and rocket launchers only in the Aztec stage.
Great rules.
Great rules. Great rules there. Oh,
That's a great set
Anthony
of rules.
Lowry chiming in with his house rules.
Great set of rules.
Got a Nissa here from Steve. Proximity mines were just so frustrating that they were worth playing with.
I don't know. We cover tournaments with Brainstorm. You just learn to play. You just learn what the rules are, right? Yeah. This is one way to try to beat Jace from the green-white side of the table. Is just dump a lot of pressure into play.
Just attack him.
And don't play a super long game.
So here's the thing. This Jace is obviously really good. But this isn't like a level of Jace that's Jace the Mind Sculptor, where if Jace the Mind Sculptor's in play for like 2.5 turns, you're just dead.
Well, the big difference is when your opponent has Jace in play, you still get to play Magic.
Yes.
So there's sometimes when Mind Sculptor is in play, and it's like, this is trivial. Like, playing out this game is unnecessary. Even when Jace is good, you never have that feeling. So that's a big difference. It's an excellent card. It's going to win tons of games in Standard, and it's going to do the same in Modern, most likely as well. But it is not Jace the Mind Sculptor.
The game doesn't just end. There's a roast. That'll take care of a Warden. It'll also gain 5 life. So Steven's up to 12, I believe, now. Soulfire Grandmaster looking to bring him up to 14. See if Nissa wants to trade or not.
This is a bad turn here for Steve because he was trying to mitigate what Jace was doing by racing, and Stevens is getting a huge chunk of life on the way back.
Yep, there's your trade. Grandmaster having a huge effect on this game. Here comes Death Mist Raptor.
Callie Anderson in the background there making a some rabbit pun involving giving out the Hop and Rabble Master Mats to a chorus of boos.
Yes, tough crowd here in Atlanta.
The SCG staff and the people playing in tournaments, there's a long history of puns made by the staff and then those being booed by the people in the tournament.
Well, I think that's what you strive for.
Yeah.
The goal is to be booed. Wingmate Rock is going to bring a token along with it, as Death Miss Raptor satisfied the raid.
It's like crowd participation in professional wrestling. Everyone knows what's coming, but you do it anyway.
You still cheer or boo, yeah.
It's part of the live experience.
Yeah. I do that when I'm not even at a show. I just do it in my apartment.
Right.
Gideon is going to be discarded. Jace is going to flip. A bit of an issue here for Todd. It appears no black mana. He has a copy of Crackling Doom in hand, but also he got three power creatures out here. This is pretty tough. Now he does have a Delta in hand, but even on this board, Crackling Doom is eh.
Yeah, it's one of these weird sort of spots where Steven could just sacrifice the Death Miss Raptor, the least powerful of the three, and the one that he can get back later on. I suppose a line of play you can take here from Steven's position is to flashback Roast on the Raptor, and then your Crackling Doom at least takes care of a token. That costs you your Jace, however.
Here is Crackling Doom. Death Miss Raptor is the easy sacrifice. Jace will take up, slow down Wingmate Rock a little bit, pass the turn back. But the mana here for Stevens is kind of coming back to hurt him a little bit.
Yes.
Couldn't play Dragon Master Outcast that turn. Does have a copy of Dig Through Time, and I think the necessary cards in the graveyard to be able to cast it, so he can still play 2 spells over the course of 1 turn, but he's not in a great spot right now.
And Dig Through Time justifies last turn's play. I thought what was going to happen there, as I mentioned, was Stevens roasting the Death Miss Raptor and then using Crackling Doom to take care of one of the flyers. He's going to Dig Through Time. This is fine.
It's a morph. That's a Den Protector. The ability to return something, get back a Death Miss Raptor.
So much in the way of resources to work with this deck, too. I mean, Steve's got a 2-turn sequence set up here of unmorph Den Protector, get back Death Miss Raptor, return Nissa to my hand, Nissa, get a 7th land, flip, play Gideon. That's what he's got rolled up over the next 2 turns.
I've seen worse.
Good set of cards here. I mean, Dig Through Time's a nice card, but Mann's got his own form of card advantage as well. And the benefit is that it's interacting with the board and attacking Stevens' life total when he's already on the ropes.
Now, the tough thing here, too, for Stevens is there's always that play that I think many are going to grow accustomed to with this deck, as he's going to resolve Dig Through Time here. So he'll take a look at the top 7 and take 2 with him. He could have flipped Jace plus Jace to give something -2/-0, preferably the Death Miss Raptor, then catch Crackling Doom, kill Flyer that way.
Yes.
And that's something that I just don't think that play pattern is ingrained with people yet.
Right.
We don't see it happen very often, but it's something that comes up a lot because of how Crackling Doom reads. So now we're going to see Death Miss Raptor come back. It's like it didn't even kill it at all.
Yeah, Crackling Doom is a very odd card because it reads like an Edict effect. And historically, when your opponent plays an Edict, when you're casting one, it's like, okay, well, the worst thing in play dies, and that's the end of it. Crackling Doom is a lot more precise than that. And when you have effects like Jace that allow you to modulate power or toughness numbers in play, you can be much more precise with it.
Yeah. It looks like he's seen one too many cards with Dig Through Time, so a card goes back of the opponent's choice here. The ultimate punishment.
Game lost! You drew extra cards! Yeah. I'm glad that's not the rule anymore.
Yeah. Get out! Banned from the Open Series.
You are banned for cheating!
Back in our day.
Oh, yeah.
That is what happened.
Did you miss your Parades trigger?
Yes, I did.
Walk over to the nearest dealer and hand them your deck so you can never come back and play in the tournament again, and then get out of here. You filthy cheater.
I liked it more that way.
Different time.
Yeah, different times.
Different era.
Yeah. I just made sure I didn't make mistakes. That's why my board states are always so clean.
It ensured that some people didn't make many mistakes and other people just didn't show up to tournaments.
Yeah.
So it depends what your goals are.
You want Grand Prix to be smaller.
Yeah, bring that rule back.
Bring that rule back. Stevens will draw now. Dig through time, done resolving. He's got an uphill climb in front of him. Does have a roast in hand. Not sure how appealing that is right now.
Well, Stevens has to answer a lot of stuff. Jace kind of represents an answer to one of the threats in play. Roast is an answer.
Yeah, I mean, Roast is an answer for Den Protector, but Den Protector's going to get so much work done, you know?
And the Death Mist Raptor's coming back also.
Yeah. Here comes Manish Rider. I just don't know if Stevens can hold on through all of this. Gonna tick up Jace, slow down Wingmate Rock, cast Dragon Master Outcast. There's a Mystic Monastery. Mann wants to make sure he knows exactly what the Outcast does do. 6 lands necessary, and Stevens just played his 6th one.
I think this might be the old dead on board.
I believe so. With the return of Death Mist Raptor. And a little help from old Gideon.
The Death Mist Raptor doesn't really move the equation here because the Outcast had nothing to block prior to this and now just chump blocks the Death Mist Raptor. But I just don't see Stevens getting out of this one.
Nissa comes back. Death Mist Raptor enters the battlefield. Quick on tap. And just this sequence is just so backbreaking. Like it's almost, to me, it's like a green-white deck shouldn't be able to do this. Get back my Death Mist Raptor, regrow my Nissa, play my Nissa, get a land, flip my Nissa, cast Gideon. All that in one turn is just silly.
It's all card advantage coming through creatures, though.
Yeah.
It feels like a green-white deck, for sure.
That's true.
You are right that in terms of raw card count, this green-white deck can hang with blue decks pretty easily.
Blue decks wish they could hang with green-white. That's what it feels like to me. Until blue decks get a real card drawer again.
Still got dig through time.
Yeah, but that's not, you know, that's card selection. That's not card density.
You have Ugin's Insight. That's there.
There are options, yes. I just don't love them.
Sphinx's Revelation isn't walking through that door.
Well, that's good, because I don't want it to walk through that door. And when it was in the door, I was casting it and really enjoying it.
Thirst for Knowledge is not walking through that door.
Gideon makes an emblem. All these creatures are attacking. Wingmate Rock is going to gain some life. And with 2 creatures to be blocked here, the rest is going to come through. And I believe they're all going to Todd Stevens. So Stevens can survey the board here to see what the best blocks are. But with him at 4, assuming that life total is correct, there's there's no way out.
It's all lethal.
It's all lethal.
It's all lethal.
His players are playing on here, so. Yeah, it looks like Todd was at 10, not 4.
Okay.
So that will explain it.
Us.
Nissa will tick up. It's a Windswept Heath, pass the turn back. You can see Stevens' hand. He's got 2 lands and a roast here. So even though it wasn't over last turn, it's certainly over this turn. Steve Mann's going to win this match over Todd Stevens, 2-1. Green-White Megamorph will take care of Jeskai Black. And for Steve Mann, it's 6-0-1 for him. It's another great tournament.
And a very good winning recipe there for Green-White Megamorph in this matchup. Get onto the board early, pressure their life total, and then use your card advantage to get the last couple points across the table before they overtake you with their more powerful late game.
I know we don't see Brian Kibler much